Dear friends, I want to be the first to share with you the happy news that Bishop Barris has ordered the reopening of churches in the Diocese of Rockville Centre as of this weekend, June 13th through 14th. Please allow me to outline for you some of the features of the reopening and to explain some of the restrictions that remain in place during this period of transition. First, with respect to the Mass schedule, the weekday Masses. As of June 15th, 2020, we will resume the 9 a.m. weekday Mass Monday through Friday in St. Mary's Church on Bryant Avenue. And of course, we will follow all social distancing requirements. Weekend Masses. All weekend Masses, both English and Spanish speaking, will be held in Monsignor Ryan Hall on Round Hill Road. The Saturday schedule remains the same, 5 p.m. for the English-speaking community and 7 p.m. for the Spanish-speaking community. The Sunday Mass schedule will be 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., again at Monsignor Ryan Hall. The 7:30 a.m. and 12:15 p.m. Masses are canceled for the summer. We remind you that the dispensation from weekly Mass attendance is still in effect. I want to make this point in a particular way to our wonderful senior parishioners who, though they want most of all to return to Mass, are still a vulnerable population. Please know that we will continue to provide the opportunity to observe Mass through the link on Constant Contact. But we strongly urge you to stay at home until we can assess the health concerns of returning to church in person. Now, for the Mass restrictions. Friends, I begin with perhaps the most disappointing news for you to hear, and certainly for me to deliver. Under the orders of the bishop, for this foreseeable future, we will not be distributing communion at any of the weekday or weekend Masses. This is no doubt a tremendous sorrow for our parish, and even more so because this weekend we celebrate the feast of the body and blood of Christ. I simply ask that you consider the extraordinary circumstances in which we find ourselves at present, and trust that these measures are undertaken solely to ensure the health and well-being of our parishioners. We will include on the St. Mary's website the instructions for making a spiritual communion so that we may still experience the blessings that attend communion in person. As for social distancing, we are required to restrict the size of our congregation to 25% of our seating capacity. This means that we must close off access to 2 out of every 3 rows of pews. We ask all parishioners to wear face masks, to maintain a 6-foot distance between members of different families, and given our limited access to hand sanitizer, we will make our supplies available as long as they last, but we ask you to bring your own supply. Now, to reduce any risk of infection, there will be no procession, whether at the beginning or the conclusion of Mass. There will be no access to holy water, no use of hymnals or bulletins, and no exchange of peace. In addition, seats will be sanitized after each Mass. Friends, I realize that these measures will seem rather draconian to most of us. I hasten to add that they are temporary and that we will make every effort to return to a normal celebration of the holy sacrifice of the Mass as soon as possible. In the meantime, let us pray for our dear parish, our church, our nation, and our world, that our good Lord will see us through this difficult time. God bless you all. And I look forward to seeing those of you who can return to church this weekend. God bless.